Heather Carl. Hello, hello, and welcome back.
Thank you,
Welcome
Dennis.
back. Are we on? You were good, good. Welcome back to Songcraft. I'll probably be talking to you here about a lot of things I talked to you about when you were at the first Songcraft here in January, which is we know that we talked about your influences, but you also had a very prolific year in songwriting in the 90s.
Yes.
And what was that? What led up to such a good outpouring? And yeah, tell us a little about that. Like the songs that you just did, those were from what, 90?
In the early 90s.
Yeah.
Like after I graduated high school, I wrote the first one, Friendly Silence. I wrote it while I was actually in trade school going to be a dental assistant. I was just writing some lyrics on a piece of paper, and it just came out. It just flowed out that way.
And at the time also, were you kind of active in the Western Pennsylvania, Westmoreland County music scene a bit?
I sure was, yes.
Yeah.
I was going to Scooby's a lot for open stage. Well, back then it was called Blondie's. It's Scooby's now.
Oh, yeah,
but
Blondie's.
I was going to the Youngwood Hotel had an open stage in Youngwood. I was pretty.
I think they sometimes
there.
still do.
They do?
Yeah, I think so. It's that bar on the corner as you go out to the college.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a sign there that said open mic
Right.
recently. So great.
Right. So that's some of the places I would play.
Do you
a lot
think-
of places in Greensburg.
Well, let me ask you then, do you think having a place to play, like we're fortunate enough, we're here in Jeanette, Pennsylvania, we're fortunate enough to have the Keynote Cafe.
Yes.
If we write a new song, we can come up here the next Thursday or Friday and give it to an audience. You know, that's one of the good things about having a local
Another
place.
thing I like about is having a venue like this is we can be influenced by other people coming here, other musicians.
And we are, yeah. I'm influenced by Heather Carl here.
Thank you.
And I hope she's a little influenced by me. And also, we talked before, and I want to talk again. You have some religious input that comes into your songs often. Is that true?
Yes, a lot of my songs I believe are Holy Spirit driven.
Okay.
You know, maybe it's not me personally writing them, but the Holy Spirit that comes over me and helps me write the songs.
That's interesting. That's interesting because, you know, I'm more of an agnostic than you. I don't go to church or anything like that. But nonetheless, I find in the songwriting process, there's a kind of spiritual trance that sometimes happens. Mm-hmm. And you can attribute that to Holy Spirit or whatever. But that's interesting that you would mention that. Do you sometimes feel as if you've gotten through a part of the song and you look back and who wrote this? Right? Exactly. So that last song had a little, it had some Jesus in it.
Yes.
And it had some Santa Claus in it.
It has some Santa Claus
Some
and
Santa
Jesus.
Claus and Jesus. How'd that come about?
Well, you look on the news all the time and you see, people living in the streets and cardboard boxes and things like that. And I basically wrote the song about homeless people, but I also wrote the song for people to wake up and say, hey, the Lord may be on his way.
I see. And I get that from that song too. I really do. So that's an interesting approach. It really is. Well, let me ask you also, it's been 9 months. Has there been anything you've been thinking of coming to Songcraft and saying or telling the audience about what inspires you or change? Heather, changes in your life. Changes? Yeah. I know you haven't. You used to be a regular, and you haven't been coming as often because of job, right?
Right. I was working third shift, graveyard shift, 11 to 7, and it made it kind of hard for me to do anything.
Oh, okay.
Because I would sleep all day, and then I would get up at night and go to work. And I just recently stopped working to be a stay-at-home mom. And I find it works a lot easier with my lifestyle. Being a musician, I would like to get to the keynote more often
and I want to
influence other people.
Heather has a very creative son, Heath, right?
Yes,
Heath.
Rao.
And he's really a good visual artist already.
He's in the art club this year.
Oh yeah, okay. He's come in, and while Heather's played or other artists have played, he's drawn some fantastic characters. You know, so I think. And how old is he now?
He's 10.
Okay, yeah. So you're going to get to another song. Oh, I want to add, there's one other subject.
Sure.
Whenever you cover songs, I notice this, you tend to cover them from, they tend to be songs from the early 90s. Am I right?
Right.
And I know that was your prolific time. What is it about those songs, that your cover songs, that bring you to sing them?
I think it's just that I like them. I like the early 90s music, and and I think it influences me more. And I like the sound, like the old Nirvana. Like when they first came, they totally changed the sound of rock and roll, and I just think it's great.
Okay. And whenever Heather does Four Non-Blondes, whenever she does What's Going On, she rocks the house. I want people to know that. Anyway, you're going to do another song for Jimmy and for Songcraft. What's the title and what's the story behind it?
Oh, this next song is called Strange Love, and I wrote it in 1995, I do believe. And there was this person who was an excellent guitar player, great performer, great singer, and I was just amazed by him. And his name was Chris, and it was a song that I had a crush on him, and so I wrote that one about him. It's
Hey, he
called
might see
Strange
this
Love.
now. Yeah?
Yeah, if you're out there, Chris, this one, if you remember this song, this is the one I wrote for you.
All right. Heather Carl.
Thank you.